I think we'll.
Yeah, we'll start.
Go ahead,
Jennifer might just be a little.
Sure.
Yeah.
Join the call, but you are the only one
Seen
here.
you in a bit.
Do you want
Trying to get these t-shirts to fit better.
Good luck with
I
that.
can't decide whether to buy bigger shirts or.
Then when she comes on, though, we can turn it up to hear her as needed.
Are you getting old?
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started and call the July 25th meeting of the Merrill Enrichment Center Committee meeting to order. I guess since nobody's joining us on there, we don't need to introduce. I think everyone was here when you were
knows each
here.
other.
Robert?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, great. So moving to public comment. We don't have anyone on the phone, but does anyone have any comments that they've heard from the community would like to share at all?
Nothing bad, that's good. Let's move on.
Consent items, approval of May meeting minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the May meeting minutes?
You make a motion?
Okay, make a motion to approve. Second, any discussion?
Yes, please. So just the spelling of my name in the members present.
Again?
It's still an MCK there, and really it's supposed to be MCC.
Yes,
Which
I'm
is-
so sorry.
It's important because otherwise I
that.
can't write my initials as EMC squared.
Yes.
You know, if you know that there's two C's in there
Oh my
instead of a
gosh,
K.
I swear I fixed that. My bad. I'm so sorry.
No
I
worries.
think towards the end.
See,
it
this
was
says,
missing.
this one says MCC.
Oh, okay, so that
Yeah,
one
on
does.
the minutes,
Ah,
but then within, oh, okay,
And then I
gotcha.
think towards the end of the one you emailed, it might have, the committee got, it wasn't finished off, I think.
Okay.
Maybe you did
To the
after.
community.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, great, thank you, I'll fix that.
we're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. I'm sorry, so we had a
A motion.
motion to pass. Do we have a second? I apologize.
Yes,
Yes, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of May, June, and July vouchers. It's quite a stack today. Have you had
Yes.
a couple people take a look at those? They're available.
I did. Thank you.
I'd move approval of vouchers for those 3 months.
Second.
Second by Elizabeth. Any discussion?
Just a question, are your vouchers changing? The library's changed and the procedure changed. Did yours change as well? No?
No.
Hmm.
Library is most county owned and stuff too, so their commission may have wanted
Right.
changes.
Ours may have been the weird one and yours stays the same, that's
So
fine.
do you have recommendations
No,
or anything?
No, not at
Okay,
all, I just
okay.
wondered if things, so what it means is the library must have come into line with you, so we're good to go.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, thank
Okay,
you.
Okay, sure.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
You have joined the call, but you are the only one here.
Operations, June, July recap.
Okay, so I don't know if you did notice, though, I need to point out at the very bottom of this, what I started to do is compile a year-to-date where we're at with all of this. And, so $4,034 were still in the positive. So that's good, instead of course, being in the negative. So I did receive an email from Emily. Every month she sends us where we're at with our budget 10, with like payroll and all of those fun things, and then our budget 26. And so she made me kind of happy because she said that we're running under budget. She doesn't see any issues and she's very pleased with where we're at. So that's another sigh of relief, especially that we're coming up on budget. So yeah, very happy about that.
You have joined the call, but you are the only one here.
So June and July recap. So we're currently working with ADRC on the brain health basics and memory screening. And we will continue to do that through the end of the year. We're looking at scheduling. Jennifer had talked to me about the little bit of confusion because they're also running it at the library. And we have that every once in a while. We'll have similar offerings, but they're at different times. So I think that that's okay because people might want to come here, but they can't because of the time. But then they have another option in town between that other department. So I think it's okay. At first, I think Lori was like, wait, we can't be offering these same things. One of them was ironically in the same week or within a week with another, the gentleman from Madison who came up to talk about fraud and security and such. But he had scheduled them, so he had to drive 2 different times up. But we would get calls and somebody would not be able to make it. So we're like, well, hey, the library is having it at this day and time. So it really works well, even if we are running some of the same programs that you might see. So we're continuing working with the ADRC on that. Jennifer should be joining us to share some other things. Bus trips are going really well. We had that question. Lunch and shopping, Three Lakes Winery, fabric trip, those are the things we recently did. Upcoming is a downtown Minocqua all day, shopping and eating and playing up in Minocqua. The Tilted Loon and Windmill before that closes. And you may have seen that we reached out to Lamers to see about our annual holiday shopping trip because we filled 2 buses last time, went 2 different locations. And right now with drivers, we do not have drivers that are confident enough to take those trips. I was on the bus to Eau Claire last year with a very, very sound driver of ours. And it wasn't supposed to storm and rain like that. And the bus was hydroplaning a little bit on the way back, and I was nervous, and usually I don't get nervous. And he held his own and managed it like beautifully. But that wasn't okay. That I think everyone was a little bit concerned about that, needless to say. So rather than risking that again, because we try to go closer to the holiday time when that all the people want to shop, we thought we would reach out to Lamers. So we have an option. It's a smaller bus, it's a 33 passenger bus. So we'll try to fill that. The prices are a little higher naturally because of having that service. But we have already got quite a list of interests for those trips. So one of them is to Johnson Creek Outlets, just a little bit east of Madison. And the other one, of course, is Appleton, because everyone loves Appleton. So if we fill them both, we'll maybe be able to set a different day for one or the other. We have, some time frames in there, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to fill one. And that's always a popular request for us. So we can fit more people too, which is a bonus. If you recall, if you've been with us a while, we did take Lamers to the Green Bay Botanical Gardens a few times. And then we did that, and then we did lunch, and everybody loved that too. So yeah, they're good to work with. Okay, so that's as far as bus trips go. Strong Bodies. I'm happy to say that I recruited 2 city employees to go through the training, and that's coming up next week for them. And so they agreed to go through the training. At this time, after they complete the training, they will act as subs for myself when I'm not able to do that, or Stephanie if she's not able to teach. But the goal is to grow the program even larger and have more offerings, like more time frame offerings, but they both work full time too. So it would be evening if they were going to do it in the meantime, but very happy that they agreed to do that. The good news is that, let me think what I was going to say there. They, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I was like, wait. The good news is that we're getting people signing up still. So we have my class, which took a little break over the summer. We're starting up again, and we will, the evening class already started. So Stephanie is running that. So it's popular, and I think if we have more time slots available, I think that will definitely grow that program. So I just remember what I was going to say. So as far as the cost for that, for those ladies to go, there's definitely, it's $250 for each of them to go through the training and the travel expense and everything else. But we were awarded a grant from the ADRC, and that they are paying for that. That grant is paying for them So we didn't have to take it out of our Strong Bodies Fund.
I was just gonna say, we had that available. to
We had it
us,
available, but it fell within the definition of what the grant could be used for, which is aging well. So I worked with Aaron Wells and they've got the paperwork going, so we should probably see that reimbursement by mid-August. So that'll go right back into the Strong Bodies account. Yeah, so that's a good thing.
You wrote the grant?
Pardon?
You wrote the grant?
No, the grant was from the ADRC from the state and the ADRC working for Aging Well. So I was able to be a recipient of it based on the program. So yeah, I didn't have to write that grant, but I have a written grant. Yeah, so that one I didn't have to, I just am a recipient, which is great. So yeah, they had money to use by a deadline, I think. So we also made it within the deadline because I couldn't find instructors at first. So the deadline was closing in. So I recruited 2 ladies, so Jana and Jenny. So, yep.
Nice.
And they're excited. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with June, July recap. We did have some new offerings if you looked. The one was Mindset Mastery, which I wish I could have sat in. So it's along the lines of brain health and also all of the things that would go under what I would consider the yoga and meditative area. So how to calm your brain, how to control your brain, how to keep your brain well. So she has agreed to continue working with us. So we'll continue, it was well received. So that was a good thing. And Compassus is back. So that's a hospice and a number of other things. So both Janet and Tina will be working with us. We met with them yesterday and talked through that. And you should see that in our August newsletter as an offering. They not only deal with hospice, but she has also some knowledge in wills, trusts, power of attorney at a high level, where she can say, do you have these things in order? And then if they don't, she can refer them to, like we had Hogum here for that for some workshops. She can refer them to anybody. There's a multitude of places that can help. But it'll be nice to keep that continuing education going. The one thing I like about what they're going to be offering is the kind of breaking down the myths and misconceptions of hospice. And I think that's really important because myself, I can say, I even will, when I hear hospice, I'm like, oh no. But that's not necessarily immediately the case, right? So it's nice that they will be able to share that with, and our people we serve here. I mean, it's a great market for people. And honestly, Stephanie and Vicki and I were like, we want to sit in that because we deal with these things on a weekly basis here. And so what are we supposed to say? How are we supposed to handle it? So I think it's good for all levels of interaction. So we're excited, and they're very energetic, which is really great, and willing to travel and whatever. So there's been a lot happening since our last meeting, which is fantastic.
Now, I saw the farm to table had been postponed. Was that?
Yes, that's due to her.
To her, okay. It wasn't that we didn't have a lot. Okay.
Right. Yeah, personal. Yeah, we had a handful, but yeah, she will get back to us hopefully.
Good.
Yeah.
What
we'll
did you
see.
just say, Laura? I couldn't hear you.
The farm to table series was postponed, and I was just curious if it had to do with attendance or.
I was wondering too, your Parkinson's article on page 7.
Yes.
Do you have some folks who are?
We
going
have
to be-
not had anybody sign up for that yet, or call with interest with it. But I do know that a few people that attend here already are planning on getting that group that meets outside of here for this. So that we're gonna be making some phone calls with a few of those people that know people that are meeting outside of this space.
Because there apparently, I'm told there are quite a few
There's-
folks in Lincoln County with Parkinson's.
Yes,
But as in a lot of those situations, they don't get out a lot or nobody's making it known or whatever. But,
Right, right. And they have a strong network that they're meeting outside of this space in people's homes in various places. And we've had a few new people move to the area who have inquired into it because they have a loved one with Parkinson's.
Does the hospital have a resource list of people that we could get?
I don't know if I could get that information. I can provide them with this, that we have it, but they won't give me information. That's HIPAA stuff, so, yeah. But we are definitely marketing it, and the people who know somebody or themselves have Parkinson's are also spreading the word for us. So I feel that this will start up as, as an offering for the MEC. And I do have that contact in Madison, the main director for Parkinson's Association.
So is there like a leader for that, facilitator?
Yeah, they don't require a leader, they recommend a leader. But she said oftentimes it's just a speaker that will come in or a doctor that will come in. So I also have names of doctors for the patients right now who have Parkinson's. I have their doctor's name from their loved one to call, that she would come and talk to the group about things, yes. Mm-hmm. So the network is starting, and so things like this, when we first start them, generally start a little bit smaller, but then they build. So we have to be patient. Yeah, there's more people than we probably even know that are dealing with that. Yeah, so that's a good question.
And did we ever have any success with trying to initiate something with that moms group that's on Facebook?
We did not. We did not have much success with that.
But you are the only one here.
Because that moms group on Facebook seems quite large.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tried a couple times
You
and
know,
to no avail. If you know somebody in that group, or if anybody does, that could maybe have them stop in so we can have a discussion, that would be great. Yeah, we're open to all of those things.
What is the moms group?
it's a group of, well, not always new moms, but some older moms, some of whom communicate on Facebook with each other about the challenges of birth, the challenges of having 3 preschoolers, things like that. And in a couple of cases on Facebook, there are some moms who are having some issues of their own that are quite serious, and they try to be a support on Facebook, whatever that is.
Okay.
And that's good that they have that, because sometimes if you have your babies at home, it's hard for you to get out to come to something.
Right.
Well,
So, that is good that they're doing that, but it'd be nice if they would get a little break somehow. I don't know
well,
how
that
that
was
would
the
work.
suggestion last year, because I don't remember who that was on Facebook, had asked if they could form a group where they could have moms taking turns caring for each other's children
Right.
to come together.
Right,
Right.
right.
But I don't know that ever materialized
Yeah,
into
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, well, we'll keep working on it and see, but if anybody, knows of anybody to come in and stop by, we can.
Well, that's another one of these types of issues that are there and you don't hear about it until something really bad happens. Then it's a big deal.
Yeah,
But until that, some folks suffer in silence quite well.
that's true.
That's a misnomer, not well.
Yeah,
But they
They do it.
on
they
a lot of
soldier
levels.
on even though they
Yeah,
should,
yeah.
Yeah.
give in. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the one example last year was a 17-year-old who had a child and was desperate to find somebody to talk to. And that's why we had this discussion a year ago.
Do we have any other organizations in town that, I know ADRC sometimes focuses on resources and such for new moms. They had a couple workshops or gatherings for that. I wonder who we could, if we know of somebody who we could refer them to.
Well, if Jennifer joined us, we can
And
certainly
yeah,
ask her.
Jennifer would know too. Hospitals, any clinics, anybody. that
Well, I
would-
do that, but my new mom is kind of old.
I think it was, I'm gonna say the health department, but I'm not
Oh,
totally
maybe
sure
that's.
that have that, it was like a fair for new.
Yes, maybe, I think you're right. It was the health department, was it not?
That
Well, I
sounds
think they did
Yes.
one in
Yeah.
Tomahawk
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
in Merrill.
Right.
It was like a baby shower.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
yes, that's what it
yes.
was.
It was in the
Yeah.
photo news on the
Yes.
front page, actually.
Was that a long time ago?
No, not too long ago.
This year.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was on-
a
yeah.
couple months ago, maybe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it was in the photo news on last week's.
You know, that's a really good point. That's a good first start because they're already gathering and meeting each other and support groups form and, yeah,
Yeah, and they were doing a lot of press on Tomahawk Radio.
okay, okay. Okay, all right.
Anything else for any other things going on before we move on to the festival quick? Okay, festival quick.
Yes, it's almost here.
Yeah.
Wow, how did that happen? I remember a year ago, we were like, oh yeah, we've got a year. And now it's, yeah, now it's right around the corner. So we want a minimum, like 100 entries that we could house. We're at 108, 106, something like that. Because some of them are smaller items that don't need the rack to hang the clothes. So we're good. We're doing really well with that. We have a very interesting calendar. If you look on the back for August, it's very strange for us because we're normally open the whole time, but we have voting on the 5th and 6th. We are closed for the fair for that week. There's then the 12th and 13th, we aren't able to use the expo also, so just a little different for us. Kind of precursoring that to say, as far as our daily income that's coming in when we're open, it might be a little slim. However, our Festival of Quilts should bring in a fair amount of money for us. So that is Friday, August 2nd and Saturday, August 3rd. We have all of our ducks in a row. So now it's just executing the plan. And we'll be putting out our yard signs on probably Saturday, getting those out all in town, that part of the marketing. Yeah, we have a little short on volunteers this year for the setup and takedown, but pretty confident that between the three of us helping too with hanging and racking quilts and taking them down, we're good. We reached out to Boy Scout groups and the Haunted Sawmill groups and a couple other groups, but you know, they're probably already booked. And I mean, we reached out a while ago, but a lot of them want a donation back to their organization, which I totally understand, which we could maybe afford a little bit of them, but they weren't even really available. So we have, I think we're okay though. So it just might take us just a little longer than normal for setup and cleanup. But we should be set. So we have a number of vendors that are going to be there, and we have, if you see on the front, we have some demos by Bonnie Osnes, who's a local, who's, I guess she's featured in some magazines and different things all over the country, right? Is that correct?
She's been on the cover of magazines, I
Yes.
think twice.
Yes, and so that's a draw for us, so we're expecting to have large attendance. I did reach out to all 3 news channels. I did a press release, never heard from them, so a week and a half I gave them. I was a little impatient. I called them and spoke with them. Sent emails. My cousin even works for Channel 9, that's not working. So Channel 9 is usually not very responsive to Merrill anyway, so I didn't have high hopes, but I thought I had a little bit of an in. So I'm going to talk to him tonight, my cousin. But Channel 12 even didn't get back to me.
That's
And
unusual.
That's unusual.
They usually
And
do.
so I've contacted them multiple times, so I'm gonna be doing it again to follow up. What we requested is that they would come in on Thursday while we're setting up, because it opens Friday. So it's like, even though it opens Friday afternoon, we're like, hey, get a little buzz going so that people are like, oh, I didn't know, even though it's everywhere, it's not everywhere. And then to come live on Friday at some point, because then there's still Saturday. So if they didn't hear about it, they would be able to still be like, oh, I can catch it on Saturday. So we're just hopeful that we can get the news channels here, at least one of them shows up, and maybe they're just going to show up and they didn't share with us that they're going to show up. So, you know, and they did ask, is there anybody there when it is happening that would get on camera, you know, to talk about it? And I was like, sure, we have a big volunteer committee. They'd love to. So they don't know that yet.
Keep it that way.
I'll keep it that
More
way.
volunteers than we do.
Yeah. Oh, hey, guess what? They're here. So we'll see what happens with that. But we're really excited. We've planned for a good year for this. And again, back to my volunteer committee, which Carol was graciously a part of in the first time we ran this. We couldn't do it without him. There's no possible way. The knowledge of all of this quilting thing is vast. I'm learning a lot all the time. And just the organization of it, the teamwork, you know, running to Medford to get the racks, there's so much behind the scenes that nobody really sees. And it does take that long to organize it, a good 9 months to a year. And so this is a huge event for us.
Do you feel like, and I'm guessing, just the fact that it's a second time around, that it's really helped to have gone through that already once? I mean,
Somewhat, yes, somewhat it has. But there have still been new things coming up that, you know, we knew some things that worked really well, some things that were like, oh, let's maybe try this. But there's also new things coming in too that have also presented some different dynamics to it. So it's definitely a little easier. We've chosen to print in-house versus with VIP. We love supporting local business, but financially, it's easier for us to print in-house. So we've done that, saved some money that way. So I think even this time, there's still some things that we've done up to this point that we're like, yeah, too late to change it now, but we're noting that for next time. Yeah. So. And being that we had it that first time and all the buzz that surrounded it, I think this time, and we marketed more. We marketed further in different, you know. This time, we marketed further outside, because if you recall, we tried to keep it from Highway 29 North or whatever it was. Now we expanded a little bit further, so the marketing did as well. So we're expecting great crowds both days. Very good crowds, so excited. So hopefully you'll all be able to make it.
It's literally an art show.
It is an art
It's
show.
an art show.
It is.
It's an art show.
You know, that's the channel, let me think, which was channel 12 or 7? Channel 7 reporter. She said, Tammy, if you could explain to somebody who has no idea about quilting to get them in the door, what would you say? Mm-hmm. And I said, if they appreciate any type of art, which is vast, it is like walking through an art museum, an art show, because they're works of art, and the cost of them alone, you would never realize that these are thousands of dollars into these quilts. And she's like, oh my. I mean, so she even, you know, was kind of in shock. She goes, that's great, that's how I'll promote it. But I haven't heard from her. So she was excited, but hopefully she's gonna call me back. I'm calling her.
Are the quilts for sale?
Great question. The first year we ran it, no quilts were for sale. This year, we did add the option for people who are entering things if they wanted to sell some of their quilts. So yes, there will be some for sale.
But that's direct through the owner of the quilt, correct?
Yes.
It is direct through the owner. We will not have any transactions that we do here. So what will happen is there will be quilts for sale, and if somebody's interested, they can either the quilter can choose to give them their information, or the person who wants to buy gives us their information and we get it to that quilter. And then they manage that.
They can't just write them a check and take a quilt home with them?
Well, they could, it's gonna be here, so if they have that kind of money, yes, they
Yep.
can.
You sell them in the shop though, right? Isn't the
Oh,
shop
those
gonna
are
be
the
open?
ones, that's a great question. So those are consigned. So say Sharon made a quilt and she wanted to sell it in there.
Yeah.
She would come, we have a number, she sells her quilt.
Okay.
We also sell quilts under the Enrichment Center that our ladies make in the quilt room to earn money to go right back into the quilt room. So, yeah.
So like this one that Barb made right out here, that's the raffle?
That's the raffle for the Festival of Quilts. So that's different. Yeah,
Okay.
she donated that.
I know, oh my gosh.
That
it's
is
so
thousands of
gorgeous.
dollars. That quilt is thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
Is that the one right here?
Yes,
See?
yes, and she donated it
Yeah.
That's cool.
for our, yeah.
It's amazing.
And you said it, I mean, don't, if you want to buy a quilt, bring a good checkbook.
Make sure you have enough money. Make sure you have
Right.
enough money in there. I think people are going to be a little shocked
Mm-hmm.
just based on lack of knowledge. That was me for years. I mean, my mother-in-law made a ton of quilts and then I didn't realize until I did how much that cost.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then- Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the cost is an issue, but I was so impressed with the ability of some of these folks to put in that much patience.
Oh
and
my
time.
gosh. Patience is the perfect word because I know.
I mean, for
It's so
some of
much.
us who are a little under hyperactive nowadays, you know, the amount of finite time
Oh,
it
yes.
takes in.
Oh, and math skills.
Yeah.
Seriously, when you're thinking of cutting and measuring and
Yeah.
there's a ton of math involved and everything. I mean, it's fascinating, but patience is true. You have to be patient.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Same. I think I have ants in the pants and then if something goes wrong, I get flustered and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, all of those things combined. So we're just thrilled to have something in the northern part of the state. You know, I know Medford has some too. Shows all the time, but it's just nice to share that with people as we keep going further north.
But this venue can't compare with Medford. It is it's very much superior.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
whatever you
think
say
so
that
too.
was.
I think so too. It is. It
Ours is, you're saying?
Ours
Yes,
is,
ours is,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Oh,
We
I
get
thought you
that a
meant
lot.
theirs was-
Oh, no, ours.
Ours
here.
is here, yeah,
It is.
much superior. We get that a lot, even with rentals, you know, when people come for
Now,
rentals.
this is a
for big-
competition, right?
Pardon me?
Isn't this a competition? No.
Oh, well, that's a great question. So we are not having it professionally judged.
Oh.
A lot of them do. But we do have viewer's choice. So when any participant comes in, you're going to get a program, and inside is a slip for voting. So you get to vote. And then the MEC team has a vote, the committee has a vote. Trying to think what other.
Vendors.
Vendors, yep, our vendors who come, they get to vote. So there's ribbons available for that, but it's not like a truly judged competition.
Then not a
yeah.
monetary prize or anything.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Just kudos,
Acknowledgement.
just a kudos, yes, exactly, and a ribbon. Who doesn't want a ribbon?
Right.
And we do have a junior category too this year. We have is it 16 and under, or I'm forgetting what it was. Yeah, there's an age and under for. I'm thinking it might be 16 and under for a junior category. So we have
Really?
quite a few entries in the junior category.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Good
that's
idea.
exciting too.
Yeah. And the quality, it's just
Oh yeah.
unsurpassed.
It's unbelievable, so we're very excited. So it's gonna be a whirlwind for the next couple of weeks here, so. Any other questions on that, the Festival of Quilts?
We're serving food, aren't we?
Oh, yes.
She'll be there,
Right there.
front row.
Yes, we
Available.
are. And those little mini cheesecakes will also be there.
And the smile gets
I'm on
bigger.
my way after work to make sure
I'm
those
I'm
don't sell
somewhat
out.
undernourished.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on, health fair date and planning.
Okay, so of course, this is taking a back burner for a minute because we're all consumed in this. And then in September, when we finish this, in September we have our huge fall craft and market. So right now, Health fair isn't our main priority, but we are starting to create a brochure, not a brochure, a flyer, with the dates and I think we decided on April, if I'm not mistaken, we decided in April. We already have reached out to some. The girls are getting lists together of chiropractors. I think Elizabeth had a great recommendation of, you've got this silo, this silo, this silo. You send out to everybody, and the first, however many we can accommodate, those are the ones that are going to get it. So if I could ask of the committee, if you have any contacts for us that you personally go to, that's an easier in, or of, if you could get them to us, that would be great, because once we are through this Festival of Quilts, we're going to start either emailing those out if we can get emails. That's kind of a tough thing. We contacted the chamber. They don't have an email. They have a limited email list. So we'd have to do these cold calling things, which gets a little challenging, but we could do that. But we're also just gonna hit the pavement with that one sheet and start dropping some things off. We are also gonna send them out with our newsletters, with our newsletter delivery, because some of those businesses that we might want here are on that. But also, if you think of anything outside the realm of, what would be traditional at a health fair, we're thinking a little more holistically. We're going to touch base with the lady from the apothecary, is that what it's called downtown, with Golden Harvest, the wellness place. So we want to do a little bit, holistic as well. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. It's still there. It's just on the side right now until we get through this.
And you're not talking specific Merrill. It can be Merrill, Wausau, Merrill.
I would like to focus on Merrill first, to give them the chance first. But then if we're not getting enough of a response to fill, the health department's in already. I think I shared that last time Shelley got back to me, because we fit their criteria. ADRC will be also available. But yeah, I would like to do that first. But again, if we're gonna not have as much of a response as we would like, then we can expand the borders a little bit.
The last time we did this at the hospital, we send out a lot of stuff through the through the educational groups, the staff at the high school, middle school, and elementary schools, as well as the retired educators.
Oh, okay.
But we had a lot of success with like Rotary, Lions, and all the service groups, because they not only hear about this for themselves, but they have a broad network of contacts that help.
That's a great idea.
And the service groups are there. That's why they call themselves service groups.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. That's a great suggestion.
And I know the Rotary is always looking for something to put into their agenda for their group.
Okay, perfect. Does anyone have a contact with the Rotary offhand? Yeah, okay, so you can get that to me? Okay, great. And Lions, I think, is it the Little Leos that the Lions have? Don Smith is in charge
I'm an
of
optimist,
them.
not a lion.
Yeah.
That just started up this year. That
The little news.
Little
Little
Lions
Leo-
or whatever they're
Little
called.
Leos, or
Yeah,
Little Lions,
Leos,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, Don Smith is works with them, so I can reach with her for that too. But yes, if you have any contacts, just email them to me, and then we will get on that for sure. I'm confident that we'll have enough businesses and be able to run what I would hope for is, like when we had my husband's insurance, this was years ago, we would have to go annually for just simple things. Like they do a weight, they do a finger poke, and all of these types of things. I kind of like somebody to be able to do all of those things, because if it's, you get your finger poked and that doesn't look good, then okay, you might want to go see your physician, instead of just information being handed
More
out.
interactive.
More interactive.
I'm trying to think when, in my former life,
Coolest event I ever encountered in a situation like that, there was a health fair in Boston that I went to, and the dermatologists had a booth there, and they were taking quick pictures of people, and it was like I don't know what the terminology is, but maybe like infrared or something like that. But it was a quick shot of you and it showed on your skin where you had sun damage. So, you could take a picture and look at it and say, wow, I look like a raccoon, because, and it was just stunning. But I don't know how they
That's
pulled it off.
cool.
I don't know what kind of equipment they had to do it, and I don't know if there's even a dermatologist anywhere within 70 miles. I think the nearest one is Marshfield.
Wausau.
Wassa, yeah, Wassa.
So, yeah, but it was cool. It was, gadgets are always good.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does
yeah.
Iris help out with that now?
Oh, I was gonna talk to Sarah, yeah, to see if she would know of anyone, if they would participate too. I like the dermatology.
I know.
I didn't think of dermatologists with this, but that's a really good idea.
There was a group, and I don't remember who it was, that would come to see him, and they would do like blood work,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember what else, but some minor screening
Yes,
stuff.
yes, yes.
Yeah, don't they usually go nowadays to like Our Saviors or something? I sometimes see, lawn signs saying free blood
Screening.
pressure, cholesterol, whatever, screening. So there's somebody, and someone at Our Saviors might actually know who that is.
You call the human resources and see them, they might
Oh,
tell
yeah,
you too.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
I can
how
call
I found
them.
out I had a problem.
Oh, see? That's nice. Okay. HR, okay, will do. All right, great suggestions. I think we'll be really good with that. I'm anxious for that health fair.
Okay, August calendar. Was that kind of what you were referring to before with the?
Yes, just everything that we have going on in August, but then also the different schedule, just so you're aware that that our intake for financials that this month might be, well, wait a minute, we have the Festival of Quilts, so there's that.
The other way.
There's
Right.
that. There is that, yeah, so that should help us with that. But, and the reason, let me explain why we decided to just close during the fair. We have, for years, tried to stay open. And it's just, we're not bringing in much money. And last year, we ran into a situation with parking on Wednesdays, so our participants got charged to park to come here to play. So there's just too much. There's just too much. So that's why we decided, you know what, we're just going to, on Wednesday and Thursday, we're just gonna take 2 vacation days. And now in the past, one of the days we took a bus trip. So that worked out kind of okay too. It didn't work out that way this time, but also balancing payroll, because the girls and I are working Friday and Saturday for the Festival of Quilts. This will help me also balance payroll. So kind of worked out well this time.
Is Rick involved with that too?
Rick
With Jordan?
Bjorklund.
Bjorklund,
Or Bjorklund?
That's
With the-
Bjorklund that you're talking.
with
Yeah.
the fair, is he still involved with the fair?
He's not been involved with the fair.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking with the hall.
He, I hate to say exactly what his role is in that, because it seems to flux a little bit.
He's supposed to just be in charge of of renting out the festival grounds and the
Promoting.
expo center and promoting stuff. But
Right. He kind of is the promoter, and he used to come in and maybe right at the beginning show people the space or whatever. But I don't know that he's doing that much anymore either. I'm really not sure of his role.
Okay, so that was my question. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys didn't have to rent the hall for this?
The fair?
Yeah.
the fair has to rent
No, I'm saying for the quilt,
for the quilts.
for the quilting?
Oh, no,
I mean,
no,
no.
we don't have to pay to, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't understand your question. We don't have to pay to use it because we're a city department.
Okay.
So when we run an event, it's an extension of our offerings. That's a good question though, so we don't have to rent it.
But that is a huge positive
It's
to the group
huge.
doing the show.
Yes,
To
yes.
not have that cost.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
for that kind of event.
Yeah, for sure, so. Okay.
Tammy, are you getting any endowment fund growth?
Say that again, Jean.
Is any endowment fund?
I haven't
coming
had,
in?
Any recent endowments? No, I have not. I thought about hitting the pavement on that come the new year and going to some groups and kind of explaining what the endowment is and why we have it and the longevity of the Enrichment Center.
Yeah.
So when I retire one day, I don't want to drive by here and see it vacant.
Yeah.
So that would be heartbreaking. So I do want to go to, different groups of people and just explain, this is what the endowment is. It stays with the Enrichment Center, for us to continue operating. So, yeah. I can't, initially I expected some donations to come in, which is normal, but then it's been kind of a little bit quiet. Yeah, good question. Anything else in our newsletter that anyone has questions on, or anything else that we should be discussing?
And for future meetings?
What's that?
Oh, I said, or for future meetings, under the discussion, I assume that's what.
Oh, yes, if there's any, and again, if we're not meeting for another month, but if there's something, I don't make this agenda until we're getting close. So if there's anything that comes up that you think, maybe we should discuss that or put it on the agenda, please just email and, I'll get it on there for you.
Yeah. All right, well, if there's nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn.
So
Harvey.
moved.
Okay, Harvey and Jay? Okay.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion adjourned.
All right, thank you.